Welcome to another episode of the very high production quality of Drink What You Think. It is a special episode because you can see we got a guest here, our buddy Tate. We're going to introduce Tate here in just a minute. But first and foremost, the most important thing we got to go through is what's everybody drinking today on Drink What You Think. Tate, what do you got there?
I have the Budweiser copper lager that is aged in real Jim Beam barrels.
Woo!
He's stepping it up a notch.
That's kind of your style, Tate. I can see you being kind of a Budweiser guy.
You know, it's all when I pulled that out of the fridge, I thought that probably matches up with the persona that Kenji and Matthew have placed on me, just based off my accent. So it'll probably go well.
Yeah. I think it's perfect. All right, Mr. May.
I've got a good. I had to scramble. I'm over to Tex Incubator because I got held up and I didn't have a beer, so I ran around to the startups and I found a Creature Comfort Tropicalia.
That's a good find.
Nice.
That's a great find
for a scramble.
For a scramble beer. So
that's a great find. Well, yes. I hate to disappoint both of you that neither of you could quite have the find that I had. What I'm drinking is called the Natty Daddy. This, I have a good, yes, that's an 8%, 16 ounce kind of tall one. I have a good friend of mine who he really loves terrible beer, and he brings over terrible beer. And I found this down in my basement fridge. And I promise you, this is a grown man who's my friend I'm speaking to, not a college kid. This looks like college beer at its finest. So I'll crack it open. And
is this one of those I have a friend situations? So you like put the blame on someone else? Yeah.
Yeah. You guys didn't know I was a Natty Daddy kind of a little frightened, but cheers to each of you guys. Welcome. A little sip here and that's not good.
That was.
I don't know that I'm going to get through this one on our episode. I'm just saying. Matthew, I know yours is good. I've had the Tropicalia. That's probably one of our better IPAs, I'd say, in the state.
Yep.
Tate, how's your? I mean, you taste that bourbon in there?
Yeah, the old copper lager here is pretty smooth, and it definitely brings me back to college days in Athens, Georgia. Immediately thought of Bourbon Street, Firehouse, some of those bars around there. And because I've sort of got the beer and the bourbon, so it sort of took me through like a whole night at the fraternity house as well.
This has that same quality, but in a different way.
Different, yeah. That's one of those end of the month parties where everybody's sort of stipend has ran low. And so it was either that or Keystone. Keystone had like the 30 packs. So yeah, I'm definitely familiar with those nights as well.
And after it, we got some, high quality stuff here. Well, let's get into kind of meeting Tate a little bit. First of all, Tate, I wanted to congratulate you on Mike Trout. I assume he's one of your clients, right? Mike Trout, the new record. What is his new deal?
I think it's 430 million, something like that. I was definitely hoping he was one of our clients yesterday when the news hit, and texted one of our partners and said, do you think we can run him down possibly, and then we can all retire,
You guys do it. So your firm, Polay Clark, you guys do sports entertainment folks, right? That's what you want.
Yeah, that's right. I've been at Polay Clark for just over 11 years now. So it's interesting talking to other accountants because our experience, as I talk to them, I find is much different than most. But we do anyone, entertainment, sports. We've got a lot of NBA players. We've got some TV hosts. We've got some record labels. We've got touring artists, songwriters, really the full gamut on that side. And it definitely keeps it interesting. And we call ourselves a business management firm. So we're pretty deep integrated. There's, I guess, outsourced CFO maybe would be the more traditional terminology, but we're executing a lot of payments, not just tracking stuff, and really, very involved with anything from a contract review for a record deal to, advising some of the agents in the NBA about salary cap implications with net present value calcs and stuff like that. So it's definitely interesting, and I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Matthew, I mean, you may want to stop talking about it. Matthew may want to jump ship. I think he may be going to leave it.
It sounds great from the outside. I'll say that.
I'll do the DCF on a 12-year, $420 million contract. I got you. There.
Yeah. Me too. I'm all in.
You're also, Tate, are you still doing work with food trucks?
I do. Yeah, we do some food truck work where we partner with Bean Counter for Hire out of Nashville. And it's pretty interesting setup where they're handling a lot of the day-to-day accounting, bookkeeping, payroll, some of the technology stuff, and we're handling the back-end tax, sales tax, which I'm always surprised there's not more of those kind of arrangements going on with the way the cloud works now. You can, very easily work with someone in a different company in a different state and just help the client to get a better overall service, really.
Yeah. That's cool. And then I guess finally I'll ask you, you are also a big, bad Xero ambassador. What in the world does that mean?
Well, the easiest way to talk about
little Xero ambassador too. He's like the big one, right? He's like
he's a big bad. Yeah, he's
so whenever a peace treaty is needed between two different software companies, they bring me in. That's really what that means, I think. I'm not. No. Along with my Polay Clark role, there's a lot of people that always ask, well, what's the day-to-day look like on that? And with a Xero ambassador, it can be a lot of different things, but basically there's 5 national Xero ambassadors, and we sort of will crisscross the nation for speaking events, help the sales team to explain the value to other accountants. And then we have our little pet projects, I guess. And so I'm over all the Xero Hour meetups for North America as well. So sort of rolling that content out, making sure, helping promote it, all that sort of stuff.
Busy man. all over the place. Well, cool, man. Thanks for giving us kind of a rundown of what you're doing. Okay. Time to get into Matthew is itching right now because he hasn't been talking much. I'll give you a chance to have a sip of the beer. We'll go a little round robin questions for everybody. I did have on, it wasn't intentional, but I happened to have on my expat shirt today, make Tate feel a little more comfortable in the Xero environment. I'm glad we weren't wearing the same shirt.
Yeah, I had to meet with a banker today, so I did wear a collared shirt today. So.
Yeah, I had to meet with a venture capitalist, so I had a collared shirt.
Yeah.
Clearly, I did not. So, okay. Because Matthew hasn't gotten to talk in a while. Well, you start first, Matthew. You got to name your very favorite piece of accounting swag. Not just the company, but like what's your go-to? We all wear a million different accounting swag items. What's your go-to like favorite piece of accounting swag that you wear?
That I wear?
Yeah. Like you're always like, oh man, this thing again. Like you just.
Oh man, like right now?
Well, yeah, go.
I got that hoodie.
Or whatever, any piece of swag. Maybe there's something else, not non-clothing.
I mean, there's kind of like the swag that I like. I like always the thing that you can take around for your charger that has like every single thing on it. Like you have your iPhone or USB port, but that's beside the point. My favorite piece of swag right now, I'm wearing it like 3 times a week, is a hoodie from Verity. So they're the ones that do the cryptocurrency into Xero and QuickBooks Online. So there's this great hoodie, which is it's like a sweatshirt / hoodie, but it's like thin enough to where it's like perfect temperature right now. So like 3 or 4 days a week, you see me in my Verity hoodie right now.
I've been rocking that thing a lot lately.
I've been walking on. I actually told the team actually today, I was like, I think I'm wearing that like 3 or 4 times a week. It's pretty good. So
Kenji, are we still doing the game where we take a drink every time Matthew says crypto? or not?
I gotta change. I gotta change. I better call 911 right now. That's a good one. Tate, what about you? What's your go-to swag?
I would say I like the Xero backpack, which I've got here.
That's a good
because it has the laptop sleeve in there as well. Keep it protected. I can put my tablet in the back so that I make sure to bring it to Xero Hour since I have to take the attendance since Kenji doesn't do it. So yeah, that would probably be my favorite, I guess, right now. I think we've all probably accrued a lot. So
I feel like I already know that Will Lopez is going to be sad that none of us have mentioned the Xero shoes.
Yeah.
Sorry, Will, but I mean, for me, it's the Gusto socks. There's one particular piece of socks, and I wear those stinking socks all the time. Every time I go to their office, I'm like hoarding them. But I've got a pair. They're not actually on today. I've got another. I do have Gusto socks on. I probably got Gusto socks on for at least 4 or 5 days a week. It's crazy. It's ridiculous.
Oh, that's crazy.
There's a few other T-shirts out there that aren't bad. There is our old Acuity hoodie one was pretty good. That one is not bad, but it's kind of.
Oh yeah. The one I use every day is the Acuity coffee mug, the travel coffee mug. Like every day I leave the house, I have the Acuity coffee mug. But I didn't know if you guys know this. Like Kenji, do you know Tipton wears an Expensified T-shirt almost every day? He has 4. He wears it basically.
Your son is a sophomore in high school, wears an Expensified shirt.
It says expense reports don't suck on the back, and I'm convinced that's why that's his favorite T-shirt. But it's like the softest T-shirt that he has.
It is.
So, so he wears He wears more often than not. If you see my son, he's in an Expensified T-shirt more days than he's not wearing it.
Because he can sort of get away with having something that says "suck" on it. You think?
Yeah. No, but he's very much man. He loves the soft fabric thing. Man, he loves the soft T-shirts.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, listen.
Expensify, Hub Doc, even I've got an Earth Class Mail shirt. All of them are that really soft fabric, so those get a lot of use.
Also, we don't know too. Expensify may be cool with the kids right now because listen, I mean, 2 Chainz, right? I mean,
yeah.
Oh, yeah. I guess they got.
We got a call the day after that from a extremely prominent client saying, "Hey, I guess this is the best one. Is that what we need to be using?" We're like, "What are you talking about?" "Oh, we saw the commercial." We're like, instant ROI, you know.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Sign them up on a couple of those $9 a month subscriptions, and there's that right there. All right, we'll keep moving along here. So you mentioned Xero Hours, Tate. You've been kind of a long-time ambassador for that. Big into kind of community. What's the biggest advantage, maybe the single biggest advantage you can think of, and Matthew, I'll go to you next, about firms being in some sort of community? What's the easiest, lowest hanging fruit takeaway, like when they're in, whether it's Xero Hours or what's the easy part there that they should definitely be coming to for?
This easy for me because for a long time we were not in a community. I mean, probably until we got into the Xero ecosystem in 2015. So just avoiding mistakes by just communicating with people it could be on different apps or hiring practices or, you name it. I think for sure I've learned a lot that could have caused a lot of pain by just asking other people that I'm around in different areas, and have hopefully avoided a lot of the pitfalls that other people have already gone through. And similarly, I mean, I'm communicating those same things to other advisors that I talk to.
Matthew, what about you?
At the end of the day, we're just trying to help a bunch of people, and we're not necessarily the best for everything. I like knowing the good people in all the different niches to point people to.
Yeah.
That's kind of great. You're like, oh yeah, we don't do any of the cannabis stuff, but here's the cannabis people, or here's the best e-commerce people around. I think that's
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's kind of, I mean, at the end of the day, that's why we're in it, to like help people out. So we do what we do well. We know what other people do well. We can help direct people to the right people.
Yeah, I think it's good. I'm always amazed. Like, I tend to think that we're pretty forward thinking as from a technology perspective as a firm. Every time, whether we're at Xero Hours or somewhere else, there's always somebody mentioning some tool or something I've never heard of. I mean, and they're like, oh yeah, we're using this, that, and the other. I'm like, wait, what? I kind of was like, I thought we were the guys who knew everything. I mean, it's unbelievable how many tools out there, how many things we've learned from just being around other folks. So huge benefit there, I think, to being in community. I'll switch gears here a little bit, little bit of show and tell. So things that people probably don't know about Tate. Look at this guy. This is amazing.
Oh, I mean, how did you find this? This is fascinating.
The interwebs are an amazing.
Some deep searching. This is a Chattanooga, Tennessee based nonprofit that benefits the music industry. And you found a picture of my listing. This picture was taken when I was in USA Today, somewhere around 2009, talking about remote working. So this is really something here.
This is what you can count on for Drink While You Think. I mean, we do our diligence and research. and you know, obviously I was highlighting the point that you're a musician. Actually, people who know you pretty well know you have a passion for music. But when I found this picture, there's so many things that are amazing about it, right? There's the guitar. There's got the double monitors up there. Those are old school monitors. Clearly,
that was, yeah. If you place this in the year, so this is like 2009, 2010. So keep that in mind. So this was pretty freaking good stuff at that point.
Yeah, I mean, that's big time. I mean, do you remember? I couldn't quite make out the poster. Clearly a rock poster on the wall.
That's the Drive-By Truckers poster that's signed by all the members. This is when Jason Isbell was still in the Drive-By Truckers before he split off solo. I interned with them when I was at UGA in the music business program. So that's how I got a hold of that poster. You've also got the white and red CD that's strategically placed there is my own original music CD. So you've got that. You've got obviously Hank, the cat in the window. Yeah.
This is classic. I mean, you got to dig deep out there. I'll tell other folks, if you really want to hear Tate too, there's not a lot out there. Go see him and another fellow accountant who likes to focus on food truck work named Tim. I believe it was Sons of Thunder. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. Absolutely. Yeah, we recorded that CD that you can see the cover there, the white with the red stripe on it. We started leading worship about 2008 or 9 and recorded the CD in 2010. It's got about 12 original songs, maybe 13. So yeah, but yeah, Sons of Thunder, the album's called Begin. I think it's on Spotify, Amazon Music, iTunes, all that good stuff. Mm-hmm.
Tate's a big time musician. Much more so. Here's the round robin question around music. I'll actually start with Matthew to throw it up. I know, Matthew, you're not musical, but everybody's still got a go-to song, a song that, like, whether you can actually play music like Tate or whether you're doing karaoke, it is your go-to, like, I'm going to kill this, rock this out. Matthew May, what's your song?
Oh, for rocking it out?
Yeah. I mean, you know, I've seen you. I should have pulled up a picture of you doing karaoke at XeroCon because I've got a picture.
Yeah.
But I remember. What's your, like, you don't have.
I know what I did that time. I did a Bon Jovi song, but I had a guy behind me doing it. Like whenever I started doing bad, I just told him like that, and he, like, behind my back, I'd tell him like that, and the backup singer would, like, live karaoke is awesome.
Yeah.
Because, like, the guy will, like, overpower you and, like, get you back on pace and stuff like that. But all time, there's a song by George Strait called "The Chair."
Yeah, oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's my all-time go-to.
So you could, if you had to get up and perform the chair karaoke, you could do a pretty good job of that one.
Yeah, definitely.
That was my point. We'll finish up with Tate. I'll go with mine. Mine is I'm gonna go Run DMC Tricky.
I'm gonna guess Tate and I are more aligned than you on this one.
Yeah.
I'm just guessing.
But also I will say that my kids and family would tell you that around the Christmas, like I'm pretty annoying in our own household with Elvis Christmas music. I don't listen to Elvis any other time of year, but for some reason I love belting out Elvis version Christmas tunes. So, but more in public, I'll stick with Run DMC Tricky. Tate, what about you when you guys are playing, performing? So I know original stuff, right? But what about like you and the band can go out and kill it on what's the song?
Yeah, I guess there'd be two songs. So Twice as Hard, Black Crows. That's sort of my song for guitar-wise, because that's my reference when I'm dialing my electric guitar in. But then singing-wise, be Simple Man, Leonard Skinner, for sure. That was the first song I sang on stage in Athens, and it's just one of those that it resonates, it fits my range, so it just works.
That's awesome, man. Only Matthew, we're talking karaoke in our head here, and Tate can actually on stage singing Simple Man. But all of us look like, again, two of the three of us today look like we're working from home. Next round of questions. What's one best practice for working remotely? What's one good takeaway? If someone's like, hey, I'm gonna start working remotely, you would tell them to go and do. I don't know. Who wants it first? Either one of you?
I'll take it.
Yeah. What you got?
You got to have something to start your day and a deadline to start your day, whether it's working out or getting the kids to school or whatever it is. You got to have something to start your day, so you start it on whatever time that you have a start time.
Yeah.
That's my big one.
Yeah.
I think make sure your technology supports it. I mean, when I was doing that, I was working from home in that picture in 2009, and it was really a struggle. It was a lot of remote desktop. And I remember when Windows 7 came out, it allowed you to remote desktop in, and it would populate 2 monitors. And that would like change the world for me. That like doubled my productivity instantly. But now, I mean, we're on Slack, our phone system's all virtual, we've got Xero for accounting. So, I mean, there's no difference technology wise for me being in the office versus being here. But I 100% echo what Matthew said as far as some structure. I get a little, I forget, because I've been working from home for like 10 years, that, a lot of people are just starting that. Like it's a big thing even now. And yeah, having some structure, having some separation when you stop is really important too, or else you end up bringing your work life onto your wife or something, which is not a good choice. I'm sure you guys probably could echo that as well.
Well, luckily, both of our wives work more than we do, so we're okay.
Yeah.
It's that's actually where I was going to go with it too. Was I think this is something I haven't quite mastered yet. In fact, finding dedicated kind of space and kind of trying to cordon it off from the rest of life. Again, my wife being an entrepreneur too, and he's over here sitting in the same room. We kind of move around the house and occupy different places. We both have co-working offices, and we kind of work here. And so I think finding those times and moments between family and kids to where, you can actually get a separation. Like there was a guy we heard speak. I don't know if you heard him speak, Matthew, at that EO function. Don DePani. Actually, he spoke at, he was at XeroCon.
Yeah, San Francisco.
That's right. Here in San Francisco too. He was here in Atlanta. I saw him, and he may have said it in San Francisco too. But he said, I always remember this, and I won't do it. But he said he's literally got a place in his house where when he's inside that room, he is working. When he's outside, he's not allowed to work. So if he's going to go work, he's got to go take his work back from the kitchen or wherever he's sitting back into his workroom as a signal to himself and the others, like that he's working. But when he's out, he's out. And I'm like, that's brilliant. Now, I do none of that, but I think that's a great, I think it's a great idea. All right.
Yeah.
Couple more for you and we'll wrap it up. I mean, surprisingly, I'm getting through the Natty Daddy faster than I probably should be.
I'm almost done with mine, so I'm not talking as much this time, clearly.
Here's kind of an interesting one. I don't know, Tate, you and I have had discussions around, just because it's kind of our background, our faith and things like this. What do you think about, what's your take on faith in the workplace? Matthew, you want to start with that one? Like, do you think it has a place? Do you think that's a personal matter? I mean, this is a little tough. I mean, I don't know, an interesting one to throw out there, but I'm just curious what y'all think about it.
What do I think about faith in the workplace? Yeah, I'm gonna keep it out of it completely, person. It's a very personal thing. I guess on a personal level, I think there's so many similarities between so many faiths. It's just really easy. So I'm really big about respecting people's faiths and how they want to exercise it. But most of the time, people would find it hard to identify what my faith was, probably because I'm a keep it out of it kind of person.
Yeah.
For me, I mean, it's all about living it out, not about screaming it from the street corner kind of thing. So I want to be able to be convicted of being a Christian if someone held a trial at the same time. Like, I don't want it to be some big secret, but I'm not going to push it on anyone. So that's sort of my guiding principles. It's actually interesting just that, over the last couple months, I've actually had multiple people in the workplace come kind of asking some questions and things like that. And just as an example to, I guess, sort of show where I'm at, had a guy come in, and younger guy, and he's basically like, how do you stay calm when hits the fan kind of thing, right? And so then at that point, I felt like it opened that door for that conversation. And because the reason is, the faith sort of what's important. The rest of the stuff ultimately is not that important. But at the same time, I'm not going to go over to his cubicle and take a cross and start hitting him over the head with it either. You know what I mean? So that's sort of where I'm at. I'm lucky in that most of the people at our work are sort of similar. We have a private Slack channel where we'll share stuff, but at the same time, to the same point, we're not, spraying it out on everybody and expecting them to digest it, because all that's going to do is push people away, in my experience.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When I started my career in public accounting at Arthur Anderson, I would say that's pretty clearly not a faith-based organization, not a faith-based environment. And the next place I went to was actually very faith-based. And we would have in meetings, like the CEO would pray over deals and things like this. And it was interesting. It was a little uncomfortable for me initially. I think where it landed me is probably in a similar spot as you guys, is where it's about being a place where it's, having a workplace that's safe for everybody and their beliefs, but being authentic so that people know who you are. If they want to, they're clear and they know that, here where you might believe, but you're in a place that's respectful of others. So I think it's something that's tricky. It's tricky in the workplace for sure. But, listen, hey, we can bring, here and drink while you think, everything from what's your favorite swag to Natty Daddy to getting deep on the, we're caught. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going pretty deep, dude.
Like that?
Yeah.
Like that?
I wasn't expecting that one on this, I'll be honest.
Yeah. All right. Last one to wrap it up.
Good, because I'm like single digits on power, so that's good.
We're, sorry, man, we're all plugged in, dialed in here. So, in fact, one of my kids just walked through the door here. But Tate, you got a couple. Yours are a little younger than me and Matthew's. Matthew and I have teenagers. Yours are how old?
I got a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old.
So I'll start with you first. How do you or have you explained what does Dad do? Work, or is Dad just kind of like, how do they?
Really haven't went through that probably to the extent that you're asking. I think they just think that I have this magical card that you can swipe at Target to get toys. But have gone through and tried to explain, budgeting and money and all those kind of things. But no, that's a good question. I don't think we've really went through to that extent. Obviously, the 2-year-old is not does not compute. It's not going to happen. But with the 5-year-old, definitely getting there to that point, and she's asking a lot of those kind of questions. So, yeah, I haven't really that one. I'll be interested to hear you guys answer. So maybe I can take some notes.
Matthew, we lost you on live video, so I'm not sure what happened to you. Are you still there? He is not. His battery may have fully gone out and died.
Yeah.
I'll even do this. Let's see. Hey, Sam, how would you describe what I do? Yeah. How would you describe what I do for work? Thank you. That's perfect. Okay. So I when I asked you're on a live video here. It's being recorded for
millions, probably.
Millions, probably. He my 16-year-old son. I asked him. I said, "What thinks about his dad and working?" He's like, how would you describe your dad? Well, no, from a work perspective. Like, what does your dad do for work?
Bookkeeping.
Bookkeeping. Oh, yeah, I do bookkeeping. He said, my dad has fun, and he's pretty laid back. I like the first answer. My dad's job is about having fun and being laid back. But he actually knew it was bookkeeping, accounting, and other outsourced accounting services. So it'll evolve, Tate. It'll evolve to where it's not always. And
I wish Evie was up here. I would have asked her. That would have been
pretty
solid
good.
Gold, whatever she said. I'm sure. Yeah.
Matthew's kids, I'll have to be a proxy for him. So I guess he lost his battery life there. I would say that his youngest, both his kids come in the office quite a bit. His youngest, she would probably tell you that my dad works for me and that she runs Acuity. His youngest daughter we joke is maybe become president of the United States one day, or she's unbelievable. We give her tasks, and she literally comes in and runs the office, and she's a 6th grader. So
yeah,
I think she would say that she's the head of Acuity. But
yeah, that's awesome. Mm-hmm.
Well, man, I know we kept you on a little bit longer than we said we would. Appreciate you coming on and having a drink with us, chit-chatting. But come hang. We can do this every month. People once a quarter now. People can do just this right here, right? Come live with me, Tate, and come to Xero Hour, right?
Yeah.
It's the Atlanta Xero Hour. Come and do this with us. Once a quarter, we'll put information out, and I'll also put some information out too, and put a link in there for the virtual Xero Hours that are coming up.
Oh yeah, cool. We got another one. When's this going live? Before I quote dates.
Hopefully early next week.
Okay, the 28th. We're doing March virtual Xero Hour round 2, 4 Eastern, and then in Atlanta. If anybody's in Atlanta, May 21st is going to be the in-person Xero happy hour after the Xero Roadshow at the Gathering Spot, which is a pretty cool venue.
That's going to be a great time. So yeah, come check us out. we'll link to those things and let people know. So
Cool.
All right, brother, man. Appreciate you coming on, spending a few minutes.
Yes, sir. Let's tell Matthew to get him a Mophie juice pack or something like that. One of those that can charge him up a little bit, I guess.
I know. We need to do something like that. Here he was talking about his favorite things out there with these battery packs.
Yeah, where was it? Where was it?
Where was it? My socks are keeping me warm. Your backpack's carrying your stuff, but he couldn't even keep his stuff charged.
No. Yep.
Till next time, my friend Tate. Thanks for coming on, buddy.
All right. See you soon.